Hi there. So I'm going to take a look at an essay. Actually, I think this is an article that has to do with hobbies. So a great way to spend your free time. And it says, I first got interested in baking when I was about 10 or less. So instead of less, we could be a bit more age specific and use an adjective such as younger. Okay, nothing wrong with less. But when we're working sort of a higher B2 level or a C1 level, if we can, it's really good to use adjectives that are more specific to the context. So here, this person is talking about great aunt. My great aunt. Here we need a hyphen, okay? So the word great aunt is actually hyphenated. I'm deleting the whole word because otherwise it gets confusing as to what the little dash is doing. So great aunt, that's how we spell it. My great aunt was an exceptional cook. Okay, I've already started with a few things. So an exceptional cook. Remember to use the article an when the next word starts with a vowel sound. Really important. It's not about the next word starting with a vowel. It's about the next word starting with the sound of a vowel. So there are some words that have a vowel and don't start with a vowel. Like, for example, uniform. Uniform starts with the sound y. So it's actually got a consonant. So we say a uniform. But in this case, we've got a vowel sound. We've got the sound e. So an exceptional cook. Yeah. My great aunt was an exceptional cook thanks to my grandmother. So here we've got a thing, thanks to and thanks for, which I'm going to have a look at. We say thanks for something, but we say thanks to somebody. ¿Sí? Es el gracias a alguien, gracias a, y este es el gracias por. Yeah. So that's what we've got there. An exceptional cook thanks to my grandmother, who was a prominent figure in cooking. Okay, so I'm guessing your great aunt was your grandmother's sister, yeah, and so your grandmother's sister became an exceptional cook because of your grandmother. Okay. Grandmother who was a prominent figure in cooking in her village. I really like the use of the adjective prominent. That works really, really well. Yeah. Another thing which works well here, and this is, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is an article, is the title you've given your article. That works. A great way to spend your free time. Yeah. We could go for something a bit more specific. A delicious way to spend your free time, a yummy way to spend your free time. So instead of going with great, we could go with an adjective which is more sort of specific to the theme. And there I'm kind of setting the theme by including this adjective. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. In cooking in her village. I'm always going to use in when I'm referring to a group within a place. So, for example, I'm going to pop this in yellow here, and I'm going to explain further down. Do we have a superlative? Okay, in her village. Okay. So when we're talking about within a place, like out of the people in the place, an important, for example, an important person, we wouldn't say of the world. Yeah, and I should probably do this, sorry, in this. An important person in the world. Okay, and we wouldn't do of the world. And we wouldn't do this, we would always go for in, yeah? Because this person doesn't belong to the world, yeah? It's more like they are part of it. Okay, so we'd go with in. This happens as well when we use superlatives. So we don't say the best of the class. Yeah. And I bet you're thinking about your English class right now. She's talking about me. We need to be using the best in the class. Okay, so this is particularly useful when we're using superlatives, okay? There's going to be a lot of this. The best, he's the best in the world, yeah? Or they are, I don't know, they are the greatest runners in the world, for example. So that you have in, okay? So keep going. So here now this they is pointing to my great aunt and my grandmother, these two women. Yeah, they had been working at a restaurant. I've included this. We are either going to go with they had worked, yeah, past perfect simple, they had worked at a restaurant, or they had been working at a restaurant. Yeah, we're going to use the past perfect continuous typically to describe something that was true up to a specific point, yeah, and normally we're going to interrupt that with a past simple. Haber estado trabajando de no sé qué cuando, yeah, often that's what's going to happen with language. But I need to, in saying this, I really need to know where this is going. Necesito entender dónde va esta frase y me va a costar un poquito, ¿vale? Por eso he puesto a grabar este video. So they had been working, or they had worked at a restaurant for 40 years, okay? And she was able to get her rank then during her midlife time. So we're not going to go with should. We are going to go with was able to, okay? We're going to go with was able to. I want to sort of put in a different color. There we go. I think that works. So reminder that there is a difference between could versus was or were able to. Yeah, could was is used to express el pretérito imperfecto, something that one did repeatedly, like when I was 5 I could swim, or when I was 5 I could read and write. I'm not sure if I could, I guess I could, but anyhow, something that I could do repeatedly, yeah. General abilities, things that are recurrent, so they repeat themselves. Whereas when we're using was, we're able to, we're saying pude, pudimos, pudiste, we are referring to one specific situation on a specific occasion. Pudimos hacer algo, yeah. So this is in Spanish. This used to be called pretérito anterior. I don't know if they've changed the name for it, but that I seem to remember that was the name. So anyhow, they had worked at a restaurant for 40 years. And okay, now here it's going to be difficult to know which of the two women you're referring to, because we've used the pronoun they. And so now if we want to separate and go into talking about just one of the two women, it's going to be confusing. So we actually have to go back to confirming which woman I'm talking about. So so instead of, whoops, I'm not sure what happened there. So instead of she, yeah, I'm guessing it's your great aunt. Okay, I could be wrong, but here I'm going to go back to using that noun just to clarify, because otherwise the reader is going to get a bit lost. So my great aunt was able to get her rank then during her midlife time. Okay, this part here is where it's a bit confusing. It's where it's a bit blurry, because the meaning of rank refers to a position when we're talking about military, soldiers, army, that sort of context, okay, your rank. So in this case, I'm guessing you're referring to becoming a prominent figure in cooking. So instead of get her rank, which really sounds like she's tiene medallas de guerra, that sort of thing, yeah. Instead of get her rank, she was able to reach her status as a great cook. So this is just me kind of doing something here. You could do something else, but you need to make sure it works, okay? Reach her status as a great cook, then, así que, so she was then able to, aquí voy a meterte el then, ¿vale? Ella entonces fue capaz de, pudo alcanzar su estatus como una cocinera excepcional, as a great cook, as an exceptional cook. ¿Os gusta más eso? Sí. As an exceptional cook, ¿vale? Y ya así me evito repetir lo de great, que lo tenía aquí arriba, ¿sí? During her midlife time. Vale, hablamos de cuando alcanzó la mediana edad o algo así. She was in a midlife. Uf, suena casi como que tenemos que decir midlife crisis. Parece que es como lo que nos pide la vida. Pues no, bueno. Yo más que midlife, que suena un poco extraño, pues a lo mejor diría in her, lo que sea, pues 40s, 50s, 60s, lo que sea. Bueno, 50s, 40s o 50s o lo que sea. ¿Sí? 50s. Aye, there we go. Okay. After, my great aunt lived with me and my brothers. Okay. Now, it would be really good if we could link information, if we could use some time expressions that work a bit better with this, okay? After is just a little bit too weak. In any case, de usar after, usaríamos afterwards, okay? Por lo siguiente, porque after significa después de, ¿yeah? Y afterwards significa después de eso, ¿vale? O después de lo anterior. Después de lo anterior, ¿vale? Entonces, como veis, el arrancar la frase diciendo después de, coma, no sé qué, no sé cuántas, that doesn't work, okay? So we really want to go with either afterwards or something else, yeah? My great aunt lived with me, yeah, and my brother since I was my great aunt lived with me. So make sure you're putting in a hyphen here. My great aunt lived with me and my brothers since I was 4 years old. Yeah. Or yes, since I was 4 years old, to help my mum to take care of us with homework. Remember that mum, that's the American spelling. The British spelling is mum, okay? So I'm saying this because if you do use mom, you're going to have to adjust everything to US, okay? So you might want to think that over, okay? And it's fine if you do want to go for American spelling, just let me know, okay? Yep, a US, and that one there is going to be UK. To take care of us with homework, I'm guessing you mean housework. ¿Sí? Las tareas domésticas, housework. Los deberes, homework, okay? And I have seen her each day and each night of my early life cooking in the kitchen for us. It was a fabulous time. I love this. It was a fabulous time. Yeah. You could say also, those were the years. Or, those were good times. It's like, qué buenos tiempos, yeah? With her help, I got to do my first sponge cake. So, here we're going with make, okay? Certainly, all the things that happen in the kitchen, they all go with make, yeah? Not really with do, we make stuff. So, my first sponge cake, nice. It's good to hear some technical terms. Sponge cake is bizcocho, yeah? In the beginning, I'm guessing past simple, seemed difficult. In the beginning, that's kind of begging for us to go with at the beginning. It seemed difficult, or at first. Yeah, at first it seemed difficult. And to mix every ingredient. So here we have an adjective. Yeah, here we have an adjective. And so here we have full infinitive. It seemed difficult to mix ingredients. Sorry, you can't really see this very well. Let me do this again, just more carefully. There we go. I want to make sure you're putting that past simple there. At first, it seemed difficult to mix every ingredient in the bowl. Remember, every is always accompanied by singular countable nouns. Yeah. So that's another thing that we should note down here. Every plus singular countable nouns. Bueno, singular nouns. If we're saying singular, it's obvious that they're countable. So singular nouns, that should be enough. Difficult, after adjectives, full infinitive. To mix every ingredient in the bowl. To get the, aquí es una palabra técnica, the dough to thicken. Para lograr que la masa, the dough, engordara. Get the dough to thicken. Get somebody to do something or get something to do something. En este caso, lograr que la masa haga algo. Pues get, luego somebody or something y luego full infinitive. En este caso, to thicken, ¿vale? Que se espesara. Thicken. Me encanta que hayas usado esto. Thicken. And I didn't understand why it was important. Adjective, full infinitive, important to check the flavor of the raw dough. ¿Sí? La palabra mass se refiere a masa en el sentido de... Bueno, se refiere a la palabra misa, o sea, cuando hay un servicio religioso oficiado se dice mass. Y también más en temas más de el espacio y cosas así. O sea que, pero no en el tema de culinario, ¿vale? No, not for cooking, ¿ok? For cooking, we use dough, ¿vale? Que es la primera parte de la palabra donut. Donut, ¿sabéis lo que es? Los donetes. Ok, o los donuts, ¿sí? The flavor of the raw dough. However, when I checked it, muy bien. However, muy bien. Va siempre ermitaño, ¿vale? O empezando la frase, o entre coma y coma en medio, o al final, between a comma and a full stop, ¿vale? Es un adverbio, pero va siempre separado de los demás por puntuación. However, when I checked it, I understood it tasted the same. It tasted good. Muy bien. Sabía rico, ¿vale? Usamos el adjetivo porque estamos describiendo the dough, no estamos describiendo cómo nosotros hacíamos la acción de saborear, ¿vale? Surely she was my example, ¿sí? Or you could say my role model. Es la palabra modelo a seguir. My role model, someone to look up to, yeah? She was somebody I looked up to. Aquí tenéis un phrasal verb. Alguien a quien yo admiraba. Somebody I admired. Yeah. Somebody I looked up to. And I just put focus. Solamente ponía la atención en sus manos. Vale. I just focused. We say focused on. Yeah. You need the preposition on with focus. I just focused on her hands. Or you could say paid attention to her hands. Perdona que estoy aquí medio escribiendo en francés. No puede ser. Paid attention. There we go. Yay, I managed. Paid attention to her hands. Maybe I was born with, crecí con. I was born with this and grew. I was born with and grew up. Pasado simple, ¿vale? Grew up with the snack. Without knowing it. ¿Sí? Muy bien. Me encanta el uso de la palabra knack. A knack is a skill or ability to do something. Like a talent. A talent. You know, you have a knack for this, a knack for that. And notice how the K is actually silent. Yeah, cool. So maybe I was born with and grew up with this knack without knowing it. Después de preposiciones, with or without you. Yeah. Preposition without. Después de preposiciones, ing. Yeah, without knowing it. Since then, I found one of my hobbies, Let's put a comma in there. Since then, I found one of my hobbies. Maybe none has been as free and grateful as the others. Ninguno ha sido tan libre y agradecido como los otros que conozco. Maybe none has been as free and grateful as the others I do know. Pues usted no sé si el none encaja bien aquí. He encontrado uno de mis hobbies, tal vez ninguno ha sido tan... No sé si ninguno de ellos, none of them, ha sido tan libre. Creo que quieres decir tan liberador, porque el hobby, que sea el hobby libre, no sé. Creo que quieres decir liberador, en cuyo caso sería freeing, ¿vale? Y and grateful as the others I know. Vale. Y grateful sería, porque el hobby no puede estar agradecido, pero sí que puede ser gratificante. In which case it would be gratifying. Vale. Y bueno, si he descuajaringado la frase y querías decir otra cosa, pues házmelo saber, ¿vale? En clase. So since then, I found one of my hobbies. Maybe none of them or none of these or none of my current hobbies has been as freeing and gratifying as the others I do now. Or maybe none of... No sé. Ya no sé por dónde coger esto. ¿Vale? Pero bueno, gramaticalmente podría funcionar. No sé si a lo mejor es con el significado que le has querido dar o no. ¿Vale? Bueno, not bad. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that in terms of grammar works well. There are some interesting terms, yeah. Prominent, yeah. The title worked as well. We could improve on it, yeah. And I'm going to give you the third one. Yeah. Third one. When it's an article, we can also kind of make it a bit more fun than if it's like a report or an essay. A report or an essay have to be sort of formal and more serious. An article has got a bit of a fun factor in it because we often want to get people interested in reading it, and it's normally more leisure, más ocio than sort of work, you know. So we can use words which are more, you could say less formal, like yummy. Yeah. So there have been things that worked well here. I like the inclusion of stuff like sponge cake, thicken, yeah, to have a knack for something. That expression here, it was a fabulous time of my life type thing. I think possibly, the conclusion is a bit weak, yeah? The closing paragraph could be like a bit of a longer reflection, like what do you take away from this hobby that makes it stand out compared to others, yeah? So maybe expanding on this, and we could sort of maybe shorten the previous one, which was a bit longer. Podríamos quitar un poco este párrafo and make this one sort of the final reflection conclusion. Maybe add another sentence, like a longer second sentence that brings the article to a close. Okay. Otherwise, I think that's all I have to say for now. Also, pay attention to other articles to see what type of expressions they're using. I mean, this works well. I first got interested in da-da-da. I bet you would have seen this one in another model answer. Yeah. And there we go. Oh, no, I really did not want to do that. Let me just highlight this and just say goodbye. Okay. So anyhow, I think that's all from me for today. I hope this has helped. This person and anybody else who's been watching. I hope it helps you to understand a bit more what's expected when it comes to writing an article, and at least you've been able to see some things that work and some other things which could benefit from making some changes and could be further improved. Okay, guys, take care. Catch you soon. Bye bye.